Our school communities are full of so much talent and promise, so let's talk about it. This month, we'll be joined by Jamar McNeely, Jarrell Bryant, and Dana Peterson for a discussion focused on the importance of Black men in education. Also, we will hear from Kathleen Harris, Dr. Sheila Guidry, and Dr. Kelly Jordan to talk about how Encino and NOLA Public Schools are supporting a growing English language learner population in our schools. Following that, we will have a conversation with a few representatives from NOLA Public Schools to talk about the upcoming enrollment window for school year 26-27 using the New Orleans Common Application process. So tune in to Talk That, NOLA Education, every Monday at 12:30 p.m. on 12:30 a.m. To learn more about Encino and our programs, visit newschoolsforneworleans.org.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK.
What a weekend it was. I tell you what, I am blessed that the Lord woke me up and given me another day to be on this good earth. And not only did he do that, planted my feet on the floor and made it a way for me to get to this radio station. Ain't that something? That is something. I am blessed anytime those things can happen, and you know, he can do it. So we had a lot happen over the weekend, but you know, one of the biggest things was this election. But those of you who are used to listening to the Good Morning Show, you know my name is Will Sutton. Those of you who are being introduced to the Good Morning Show, welcome to the Good Morning Show. Welcome to WBOK, whether you are listening on AM radio at 1230, on the internet via the station's website or elsewhere, or for those of you all who are on Facebook Live, hello, we have cameras here, and we appreciate your listening and watching. And I've got a special guest host today, and his name is Daryl G. Brown.
Well, thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Brown. Where's my bell? Oh, my goodness. I'm looking for the bell. Give you a little bell ringing.
Well, great. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
It's an honor being here with you this morning.
Well, Mr. Brown, Minister Brown.
Yes, sir.
You've done a few things in your life. These days, you're supposed to be retired, but you're still pretty darn active. But you're a longtime HBCU professor.
Yes.
Taught English and writing.
Yes.
And you went to SUNO.
Exactly.
And also got a degree from right here at Xavier, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
A master's in English education.
Yeah. So put a little bit of that together for us. Put a little bit more meat on what I just talked about. How did this career come about?
Well, it started early. Matter of fact, here at Southern University, when I transferred here. Matter of fact, in 1985, part-time student and so forth. But wound up graduating a few years later, and I was doing working and everything else and so forth. And matter of fact, it was to the point where the administrator had to tell me, "Hey, you met all the requirements to graduate."
Okay.
All right. But during my senior year here at Southern, at SUNO, I entered a writing contest sponsored by PepsiCo through Ebony Magazine. So I started a contest, I entered it, I submitted my essay, and won the grand prize, which was a $20,000 scholarship to any HBCU in the country.
Well, that was great. That was helpful.
At the time, I was a young married man with a 3-year-old son, and I did not want to. I had to be particular where I was going because of the limited scholarship. I couldn't go to the big HBCUs because it wouldn't have covered it.
Yeah.
So I made the decision to come to Xavier University, and just had a great time here for that short time. and earned my master's in English education.
Wonderful.
And my undergraduate degree from SUNO was in print journalism. I really wanted to be a journalist.
Yeah. Well, you did teach writing.
I taught writing, and matter of fact, in 1996, while I was a student here, my last year at Xavier, I started a newspaper.
Yeah.
Called The Black Perspective.
Wow.
Did that published 3 times that year. But I still have that bug in me for journalism and so forth. And when it comes to TV, I never wanted to be in front of the camera. I wanted to be behind the camera. But I love that writing.
Yeah.
You know, and but I'm thankful for that. Thank God for that. That I was able to go to a university and not worry about the tuition.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal.
Yes,
big deal.
First time in my life.
Well, welcome to WBOK and the Good Morning Show. We do news and information, so that is tickle some of what you like, I hope.
Yes.
And we will be having a pretty good show today. You know, there was big news over the weekend with the election, and we'll be talking about that because the voters made a big decision for who should be criminal district court clerk. Voters made a decision about who should be the city council representative for District A. And the voters made a decision about who should represent them in City Council District E. And then there were other issues on the ballot as well with the 3 propositions and a couple of charter amendments. And so we'll be talking about that. And hopefully some of you all will weigh in on that as well. We'll have Giselle, I think, Griselle Stipe. Hope I'm saying her name correctly or close to it. Senior Manager for Health Promotions from the Louisiana Campaign for Tobacco-Free Living. And, of course, she's going to be talking with us about the negatives of tobacco and how to prevent even starting smoking and reducing smoking for those who do. As somebody who has had any number of family members and friends who were smokers or are smokers, I know it's not the easiest thing. It's not the easiest thing to stop smoking, and there's no one way. There's no magic bullet. Everybody should do this. And so I'm excited to hear from Ms. Stipe about what she has to share along those lines. And we have a open call for the winners from the elections to call in or come and visit us this morning. So we hope to hear from 1, 2, or 3 of them. And that talk line number is 504-582-9422. 504-582-9422. And that's for them, but it's also for you. You are hearing our voices on this side of the night, Mike, but we would love to hear yours. 504-582-9422. Right now, we're going to take a break right here on the Good Morning Show. This is WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Norman Robinson is back.
Can you hear me now?
And he's taking no prisoners.
Can you hear me now?
Each weekday, Norman Robinson brings you commentary with Off the Top.
The incident was shocking, disturbing, disgusting, disappointing, and sad.
Each weekday, Off the Top with Norman Robinson is heard exclusively right here.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
Good morning and happy Monday. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News, and here's a look at today's headlines. The New Orleans City Council is now officially set following Saturday's election. Amy McCarron claimed victory for District A, while Jason Hughes won the District E seat. And in the race for Clerk of Criminal Court in New Orleans, Calvin Duncan beat incumbent Darren Lombard. Then the 3 ballot measures that would fund affordable housing initiatives, infrastructure projects, and drainage all passed. You can go to WDSU.com for a full recap of election results. Then the Archdiocese of New Orleans bankruptcy case will be back in court today. This is the start of a multi-day hearing which should determine the outcome of a years-long legal battle with survivors of clergy sex abuse. Remember, more than 150 parishes and charities have filed for bankruptcy as part of the larger case. Testimony is expected to stretch into December. And good news if you have to catch a flight this morning. The Federal Aviation Administration is lifting its emergency flight reduction order today. That means airlines can return to normal operations. Those reductions began on November 7th, impacting flights at 40 major airports. The move was meant to ease staffing shortages of air traffic controllers during the government shutdown. And that is a look at today's headlines. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News. Have a great day.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Morning Show. This is Will Sutton, and I'm here with Daryl G. Brown. Welcome, my brother. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
7:14 a.m. If you got to be somewhere for 7:15, you're gonna be really tight because, and I hope it's on the other side of the bed because you don't have much time, my sisters and brothers. But if it's 7:30, you got a little bit more time. You know, it might take 10, 15, 20 minutes somewhere, depending on where you are, where you're going. But please, please, please remember the kiddos. The school zone speeds are in effect until 9 a.m. And we want you to be careful to protect yourself. And I know none of you are the crazy drivers, but look out for the crazy drivers and do your part to be careful and look out for the kids. Bus stops, driveways, walking to school, getting out of the car, just watch out for them. Please, please, please. We had some really unfortunate thing happen last week with a young kid going to school and being killed in the driveway. So we don't want to have any more news like that. So we had some really big news over the weekend. It was a low turnout election, which is what we expected after the October 11th election. But, whoever decides to vote, those are the people who make the decisions. And so voters have made some decisions. And one of the big decisions is that the voters have decided to not give incumbent clerk Darren Lombard another cycle, and chose Calvin Duncan, his challenger, and did so in a big way.
68% of the vote.
68%. That was not
That's
marginal.
A mandate. That's awesome. Well, it's a low turnout, but he took advantage of the low turnout. But 68%.
That's a lot.
The people have spoken.
The people have spoken.
That's right. That's
The
right.
people have spoken.
So congratulations to
Yeah.
Calvin Duncan.
Congratulations to Calvin Duncan. And that was big news on Saturday night and Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon. It's still big news. And WWL reported on this on the weekend. And let's hear how they put it and hear a little bit from Calvin Duncan.
This has really helped me continue my belief that God is still in control. That's first and foremost. And I'm so happy that I did it because I think I have relieved a lot of people. A lot of people would call me in the mornings, family members, crying about they couldn't get out their family records and stuff.
All right. Well, a happy Calvin Duncan on Saturday night with good reason. The early voting was not as strong as it could have been, but again, with a election after October in November, we expect a significant turnoff in terms of the number of voters who come out. But this is one of the reasons that voting is important. So those who vote make the decisions. And that was a big decision. Essentially had a candidate saying, I am experienced and I've done this and I've been here. And so experience counts. And then you had another candidate who's like, not enough is going right in this office. Look at my life story. There are many people like me. I can help them from this position. And the voters said, yes, you can.
Great storylines from Calvin Duncan to Jason Hughes. Just great storylines. And the people who voted, they were listening.
Well, and over in District E, so New Orleans East, 9th Ward, Jason Hughes won with 61.47% of the vote. And keep in mind that in the October election, he was second. So that vote for the other candidates and other votes rallied behind him and not only gave him a win, but a very strong win, 61.47%.
That's right. Jason Hughes, thanks to his war chest, he had more money than the other candidates, and so he was able to do a lot of commercials and get his message on the airwaves. And I think that got to the voters. They heard his message, and he came with a message of hope, especially for New Orleans East, to bring more economic buildup here as well, economic growth. And we look forward to it. And we look forward to even meeting with him to discuss those goals he has.
Yeah, one of the interesting things about both Calvin Duncan and Jason Hughes is these are not flashy people. They're not, they don't walk in the room and take over the room and, that kind of thing. They're about the work and get it done. When they need to lift the voice or to get attention or to say something, they are there for the moment. But they're not the type of person that gets up and loves being at the I'll say the pulpit or the bullpen or the soapbox and all. And so I think it's fascinating that voters rallied behind them with these different personalities. I would venture to say that Jason Hughes is an introvert.
Yes, I think so.
Who
too.
has extrovert needs and fulfills them.
Yes.
That's kind of him there. And then in District A, which includes a number of neighborhoods uptown and along the lake neighborhoods and otherwise. And just a reminder that certainly District A is a predominantly white district, but there's a large number of black folks in that district. We got somewhere in the neighborhood of 18 to 20% black folks in District A, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. Well, they had quite the contest in October. with multiple candidates, and I don't think it was a surprise to anyone that Joe Giarruso's two former city council office staff folks, Holly Friedman, who was in charge of constituent services, and Amy McCarron, who was in charge of budget and policy, were the two successful candidates going into the runoff. And again, in this case, Holly was on top after that cycle. But in this case, Amy rallied the base and rallied the support from a number of folks, and won with 57.73% of the vote.
Wow.
You know, and I think, Holly Friedman had more of the high-profile endorsements, but Amy McCarron had one of the most high-profile endorsements. J.P. Morale, City Council President J.P. Morale, and in this particular case, I'm not saying the other folks weren't working. I'm saying J.P. Morale was visibly working on behalf of Amy McCarron. And clearly he saw a need for her to follow Joe Giarruso. And of course, we have a big deficit, $160 million or more. We have issues with paying payroll through the end of the year. Budget is a specialty of Amy McCarron's, and I think that's probably when she emphasized that over in the last weeks and days of the campaign. I think with all the news about budget and problems and the deficit, that people leaned into the idea, her pitch, that we need a budget person.
That served her well, as we see the results of it as well. So that was awesome. Congratulations to Amy McCarron as well. And, you know, we feel hopeful about the new administration going forward, 2026. So I'm hopeful for the city, hopeful for the new mayor-elect, for District E, for Jason Hughes, Calvin Duncan. I think New Orleans is about to turn the page.
Well, good. Well, we certainly need that.
Yes, sir.
There have been a lot of things going, and it does not mean we won't continue to have challenges.
That's right.
We will have challenges, but it looks like we have folks who are up for the challenges, and what we'll be looking for is what degree of cooperation and coordination they'll have with each other as they work through these issues. And we'd love to hear from you all about what you think of those who were elected and about the future leadership of City of New Orleans. That new leadership will take over in January with the city council leaders, the mayor, but the sheriff won't take over until the spring. So just a reminder that that's a different cycle. Well, we're going to have to go to break now, and when we come back, we'll be talking some more about the news and information that you want to know, need to know, should know. And upcoming, we will have Crizelle Stipe from the Louisiana Campaign for Tobacco-Free Living. You're listening to WBOK, 1230 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about. All day long.
LifeCare provides valuable whole life insurance to cover final expenses such as medical bills, burial costs, and unpaid debt. A final expense insurance policy is fast, easy, affordable life insurance that's available to anyone between the ages of 50 and 80. No medical exams, no lengthy questionnaires, and no waiting period. The application process is quick and easy. You can even apply without having to undergo a medical examination. Just answer a few questions and we'll do the rest. With the average funeral cost skyrocketing to $11,000 and Social Security only paying $255, you need simple, affordable peace of mind for you and your whole family. Don't leave behind unpaid expenses that, if left unattended, will burden your family tremendously. Benefits include a guaranteed premium that will never increase, a guaranteed cash value, and a guaranteed death benefit that can never decrease. To find out how you can get final expense insurance with a guaranteed lifetime rate lock, call LifeCare at 800-571-9955. That's 800-571-9955. 800-571-9955.
A message from the community scientist. Do you live or work in St. James, St. John, St. Charles, Ascension, Calcasieu, Baton Rouge, or St. Bernard Parish? You may be exposed to harmful chemicals like phthalates, BPA, and flame retardants found in everyday products but linked to serious health risks. That's why the Community Scientist, a program of Rise St. James, brings you clear, science-based facts that protect your health and our environment. Stay informed, stay empowered. Visit risestjames.org today.
You've got responsibilities, but that doesn't mean your dreams are on hold. At Southern University at New Orleans, our evening and weekend college is designed with your life in mind. Finish your degree, start a new one, on your time, your degree, your schedule, no excuses, just opportunity. Visit suno.edu and make your next move today.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Well, good morning, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show right here on WBOK, 1230 a.m. I am Will Sutton, and with me here is Daryl G. Brown. Say good morning, Daryl G. Brown.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's great to be here with the WBOK family.
We're happy that you're here, and thank you for joining us. We're going to be jumping into a conversation soon about tobacco-free living. But let me remind you that it is 7:29. If you got somewhere to be, you need to get going. If it's 7:30, you're late. But if it's 7:40, 7:45, 8 o'clock, you got a little time. Take your time. Be careful. Remember your glasses. Remember your keys. For those of you who have to remember your teeth, remember your teeth. I mean, just make sure that you have the things that you need to have a great day. And remember, the school zone speeds are still in effect until 9. So be careful as you go out there and watch for the babies on their way to school. Right now, we're jumping into conversation about the Louisiana Campaign for Tobacco-Free Living, and we've got Chriselle Stipe. Good morning, Miss Stipe. This is Will Sutton, and you're on with Will Sutton and Daryl Brown.
Hey, good morning, Will and Daryl. Thank you for having me this morning.
How are you?
Pretty good.
Good. I hope you had a good weekend.
Yes, I did. Got some rest.
All right. Rest is always a good thing. Sometimes we can get in our cycles of go, 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 even on the weekend, and then it hits us. But it's better to recognize that you need some rest. So I got
That's
some of
right.
that in myself, more than usual. So that was good. All right.
That's
So
great.
so I'm happy that you're here today with us to talk about the Louisiana Campaign for Tobacco-Free Living and the things that you all do. I know that you all have a vaping town hall coming up in just a couple of days. But can you first give our WBOK family of listeners an overview about the Louisiana Campaign for Tobacco-Free Living?
Yes. So the Louisiana Campaign for Tobacco-Free Living, we are a program of the Louisiana Cancer Research Center and also the Louisiana Public Health Institute. And our focus is we engage local and statewide tobacco control and prevention efforts. And we do this by focusing on reducing the impact of tobacco use in all of its forms, not only smoking, but also smokeless tobacco, any nicotine product, including vaping. We also focus on eliminating secondhand smoke exposure. We promote quit services to help folks who need that help. And we also identify those tobacco-related disparities, and we work towards eliminating cancer. And we know that tobacco use is a factor in cancer diagnosis.
Well, we've made quite a bit of progress in these United States with reducing smoking and making sure that people are aware of the harms of smoking. But we still have a number of people who smoke. And as things change across the decades, it's not just smoking. And it used to be, it used to be that there were people using snuff, and it was baseball players and granny. But,
Yeah.
but now it's like more people doing that. And then as we reduced the cigarettes, it seemed like cigars became popular. And then it looks like, okay, now we're going to find another way for smoking. And now we got vaping. What is all of this?
So this is the tobacco companies marketing to come out with new products. So with the smoking and the snuff and the dipping types of tobacco, we've done a lot of work in the past decades to reduce the use of that by educating folks. That link between using tobacco and cancer came out. And so just with the years of work towards reducing those products and also putting laws to hinder their marketing so much, new products come out. They create new devices, electronic devices these days. And they're really good at promoting, and they have billions of dollars to promote those specific products to our communities. So, yes, over the years, it's been vaping and e-cigarette use. You also see a lot of young folks using hookahs. And there's also these nicotine pouches that are pretty popular right now amongst young people and young adults. So it's ever changing. And so if we're going to combat this and promote healthy lives, we have to change our focus also. So it doesn't include just smoking. It includes all types of smokeless products, including vape products.
Chriselle, I have a question for you. This is Minister Darrell G. Brown. I have a question. What do you hope to accomplish at the town hall, the vaping town hall meeting on November 20th? And how big is a problem of vaping among young people increasing, or do you see any decrease with your campaign?
So what our focus is on Thursday. It's called the Bayou Region Vaping Town Hall, And it's one of many town halls that we've done across the state within metro areas and also rural areas across the state. Our goal is to bring a panel of health experts within the area and also community leaders and have a meaningful conversation about what's actually going on with our youth in those areas. So it's our opportunity to bring parents, those adults who work with youth, so school administrators, coaches, school nurses and case managers, those in the community who work with youth, bring them together to find out what's actually present as far as resources and helping them, and also to educate adults who don't know about vaping. Many parents learned about vaping through the tobacco and vape company advertisements that say vaping is safer for them to use than smoking cigarettes. So you have some parents across the state who's actually been purchasing vape products for their kids because in their minds they said, okay, vaping is better than smoking, but it's not. So dispelling those myths and also educating educators about the different products and how the products are ever changing and how they can look like daily products. Like some of them look like pens, some of them look like school supplies, but they're not. They're vape products. So that's our opportunity to bring everyone together and also for us as an organization to help local folks in addressing the issue. Actually, within Louisiana, vape has increased and it's still high across the state amongst young people, even though recent studies and research show that it has decreased across the nation. It's still high in Louisiana. And so within our state, we're focusing on our youth here and then focusing on how we can address it within the communities within the state. The Youth Tobacco Survey that we conduct every other year found that 1 in 3 high school students are vaping and also 1 in 5 middle school students. One in 5 middle school students. And then through our vape town halls and just working with communities across the state, we're finding that vapes are being found in elementary school campuses too.
That's disturbing.
Yes.
Oh my!
Yeah.
I mean, because not many elementary school and middle schoolers have jobs to
Right.
have money to disposable money to buy some of these things. So where do we think they're getting it from?
So they would probably be getting it from maybe an older sibling.
Yes.
Or a relative, an older, younger person that they would be finding these products from.
Yeah.
Another question for you. I see your areas for these town hall meetings are in Houma and Thibodaux. Do you have any that will be coming to the New Orleans area?
Yes, very soon we would be planning to come to the New Orleans area. We have done this in different parts of the state, starting in the northern part of the state. We've had Monroe, Lake Charles, Central Louisiana, and so we're working our way down this way. So our Bayou region, and then very soon we'll be holding something in the metro area.
All right. So the upcoming is the Bayou Region Vaping Town Hall in Houma. And that's at 11 a.m. at the Medical Atrium Auditorium.
Yes, so this will be, we are in partnership with Terrebonne General and in the Terrebonne General Foundation. It will be held at that location in Houma from 11 to 1. And that's a location. And then also in Thibodaux, because
Nicholls State?
I'm sorry.
Nicholls State, is that right?
Yes, so this vape town hall actually coincides with the Great American Smokeout, which is the same day. So the Great American Smokeout is every November, the third Thursday in November, which this week is November 20th. And it's basically an American Cancer Society observance where we encourage individuals to quit smoking for a day. And hopefully that will start their journey towards quitting. So, in addition to the vape town hall on that same day, we have something at Nicholls State University called Be Kind to Your Mind, Blow Bubbles, Not Smoke. And so that's where we're going to be distributing vape and smoking cessation resources to the student union. So, focusing on those young adults who are also vaping more than the young folks and smoking. And in addition to that, we have something in St. Landry Parish called Smoke Meat, Not Tobacco.
I like that.
So, yeah, so you have to you have to grab folks' attention and in the work that we do, making sure that in communities we're a part of the culture in that community, and that's how we're going to reach our Louisiana folks and keep them healthy. So we're partnering with local restaurants in that area. That's from 10:30 a.m. to 2 o'clock, and we're providing that smoking cessation and vape cessation resources there also, along with that awareness and education.
So is there any cost for any of these?
Not at all. Totally free.
All right. Do you need
with
to
the
register
Bayou-
for one or more of them?
I'm sorry?
Do you need to register for one or more of them?
Yes, you would have to register for the Vape Town Hall in Houma, and anyone can register. They can go to tobaccofreeliving.org to register. If you're in that area, you can, of course, choose to attend in person when you register, but anyone can register online and listen to this virtually.
Wonderful, wonderful. We're in conversation with Chriselle Stipe from the Louisiana Campaign for Tobacco-Free Living. We're talking about the need to stop smoking and to have tobacco cessation. And we're talking about, in particular, the November 20th events that will be held in Houma, Thibodaux, and St. Landry Parish. For those of you all who want to go because you want to take better care of yourself, or perhaps you have a relative or a friend and you want to learn how to encourage them and help them, or maybe bring them along and help them learn.
And by the way, Chriselle, COVID taught us a serious lesson about taking care of our health and our lungs. And I hope that has some type of impact to change people's attitude towards smoking, where they will smoke less. Did you see any decrease from the 2021?
Yes, so we did. We saw some decrease with a lot of promotion that has been done across the nation and within the state regarding how smoking makes the COVID effects very adverse, and it makes the symptoms worse. And so, yes, we did find a decrease. We also found a decrease in vape use, and we believe it was linked to the fact that everyone was staying at home. And so youth weren't out there actually trying to purchase and obtain vape products. So those are definitely factors that we've looked at and considered. There's a lot of factors that play into increase or decrease prevalence in the use, but we did see a dip in usage during that time.
Well, I've known a lot of people who have smoked. I know people who do smoke, and I have a wife who worked in this field for a stretch of time. So I'm no expert. I certainly am not as knowledgeable as you are, you and your colleagues are. But I know that there's more than 7,000 chemicals in a single cigarette.
Wow.
So that's exactly correct. So there's actually, in an actual cigarette, it's over 400,000. For anyone who inhales secondhand smoke, like say you live by with someone or you're next to someone who's smoking and you're receiving that secondhand smoke, you are receiving over 7,000 chemicals.
Right.
And 70 cancer causing agents.
Well, and I
So,
think
yes.
that is a part of what sometimes can get people's attention because they hear chemicals and they're like, well, everything has chemicals. Well, not everything has heavy metals like lead and nickel and tin.
Exactly.
Not everything you eat or drink has formaldehyde in it.
Exactly.
Not everything has like car exhaust kind of benzene in it. And then, you know, the cancer causing chemicals. So there are a lot of chemicals, but cancer causing chemicals, if you are through your family heredity inclined to have cancer, you are increasing the likelihood of having cancer with doing some of these things. And that includes cancer causing in vapes and other such ways of taking this in as well.
Yes, and smoking and tobacco use is the leading preventable cause of cancer, of disease. So it's the leading cause, but it's a preventable cause.
I see that 81% of black smokers use menthol compared to 34% of white smokers. But black Americans often start smoking later in life but face higher rates of smoking-related diseases. What's your message to the black community during these campaigns?
Our message to the black community is historically partly tobacco companies actually marketed towards the black community for a long time, especially during the 60s and the 70s, advertising menthol cigarettes. And those companies actually have their own research labs. And so they found out that blacks love menthol cigarettes and they use menthol cigarettes the most. So what menthol is, we know menthol is in certain things like Vicks, Saf, and also Carmex. So it provides a cooling sensation. So when a person initiates smoking, it's easier for them to inhale and it goes down smoother. So that's what gets a person hooked. It's not causing them to cough so much when they're initiating it. And so it's the cooling effect that causes Black Americans to smoke more. So that's why 81% of Black Americans smoke menthol compared to whites. And it's marketed in our communities. If you look at gas stations in our communities, you'll see, and just historically think about it, the big cool ads advertising menthol cigarettes in the gas station convenience stores. That's marketing towards us in our community. A long time ago, there used to be billboards. Of course, that stopped because of legislation. But if you look through the years, back in the years, you'll look in our neighborhoods and see, and then currently now in our neighborhoods and see that promotion of menthol cigarettes. So it's easier to start smoking with menthol, but it's tougher to quit with menthol. And so that's the issue we're having in our communities with those types of cigarettes.
Wow. Well, and I'd like you to go back to the pouches because this is, I think, one of the newer things. People have kind of gotten used to the idea that there's vaping and they might not understand it unless they have somebody they know. But the pouches, tell us more about the pouches.
So the pouches, and they come in a variety of brands. Zen is a popular brand that you've probably seen, but it's comes in like a circular can type, but it's plastic. Yeah. And it kind of reminds you of certain types of breath mints that you'll see in the store. And so we know that tobacco companies and vape nicotine companies that provide nicotine products or create those products, we know that they market to youth. And so a lot of their products look like other products. They look like candy products. They look like things that attract young people. And so how these pouches are used, they're nicotine pouches. You basically put it inside of your mouth and let it absorb. So while we're talking about vaping, like we're talking about vaping and electronic cigarettes because that's a issue. Well, now you have another type of product that's out there, and young people are increasingly using it. We have a youth advisory board that we work with, and where we bring youth to the table to give us as adults who is trying to address the issue, give us insight on what's happening in their world with these products. And so we've gotten feedback from youth that say, hey, yeah, there are other products that young people are using too. And Zen is one of them, or the pouches is one of them.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And we want to remind folks that you've got 3 events on November 20th in Houma, Thibodaux, and St. Landry Parish. That's the Bayou Region Vaping Town Hall in Houma at 11, Nichols State University program at 11:30, and then at 10:30 a.m. on the same day in late St. Landry Parish. So you might be able to get to one of them at least. And yes, they are coming this way, working their way down the state. And this is a statewide effort, and we want to help more people become more healthy. So thank you so much, Ms. Stipe, for joining us.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right. Have a blessed day. All right. All right, folks, we're going to take a break right here at WBOK. Good conversation about smoking and tobacco secession. We've got more news and information to talk about and stuff that you want to know, need to know, might want to know. And, of course, you're hearing our voices. I'm Will Sutton. This is Darrell Brown. And we want to hear from you. If you got something on your mind, something to share. 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. This is WBOK, 1230 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about. All day long.
It's tea time, New Orleans. Join the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce for the 12th Annual City Classic Golf Tournament Friday, November 21st at the Joseph Bartholomew Golf Course located at 6514 Congress Drive. Registration and breakfast start at 8:30 a.m. with a 10 a.m. shotgun start, and ladies with the drive tea time at 10:30 a.m. Don't miss this annual tradition of excellence on the green, brought to you by the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce.
This is The Law in Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton. Losing a loved one is tough enough. Do you really want your family dealing with court battles and paperwork on top of it?
Whether you choose a will or a trust, think ahead. Take care of your family. Let them focus on healing instead of headaches. This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
Interest rates and inflation are out of control. Is your credit card debt also out of control? It's time to resolve your debt and take back control for a lot less than what you owe. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, then you need to call us right now. DebtFix Pros can significantly reduce the amount you owe, and you could be debt-free faster than you think.
I knew we had to do something. Our debt was growing.
It was getting out of control, and we just didn't know what to do.
We saw an ad for DebtFix Pros. We called, and they showed us how fast they could get us out of debt.
It really was amazing, and now we're back in control.
Call now, and we'll show you how easy it is to fix your debt. The call and consultation are free. Call DebtFix Pros right now at 800-311-5977. That's 800-311-5977. 800-311-5977. Interest rates and inflation are out of control. Is your credit card debt also out of control? It's time to resolve your debt and take back control for a lot less than what you owe. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, then you need to call us right now. Debt Fix Pros can significantly reduce the amount you owe, and you could be debt-free faster than you think.
I knew we had to do something. Our debt was growing.
It was getting out of control, and we just didn't know what to do.
We saw an ad for Debt Fix Pros. We called, and they showed us how fast they could get us out of debt.
It really was amazing, and now we're back in control.
Call now, and we'll show you how easy it is to fix your debt. The call and consultation are free. Call Debt Fix Pros right now at 800-311-5977. That's 800-311-5977. 800-311-5977.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Benefit Solution Group Annual Enrollment Period Update. Who do I have on the line with me today?
Hey, this is Lori Swanigan, CEO of the Benefit Solutions Group.
And I'm Vanessa Scott, broker senior advisor with the Benefit Solutions Group.
Can you guys tell me what is Annual Enrollment Period?
The Annual Enrollment Period, the acronym for it is AEP. It starts October the 15th and it goes through December the 7th.
Why is open enrollment so important?
It is a time for anyone with Medicare, any person with a red, white, and blue card can actually get a plan. There are forms that you need to fill out to even get your prescription drugs. So can we go ahead and throw that number out there?
Yes, let's do it.
Again, that number is 504-621-3687. Awesome. And that's going to be Vanessa Scott coming to your doorstep.
It's Benefit Solution Group. Don't let the laws change and leave you stuck out. Get your Medicare review today at 504-621-3687. Benefit Solution Group is a licensed independent agency not affiliated with the U.S. government. We offer Medicare, Advantage Part D, and Medicare plans for major carriers in our market area.
Good morning, Wake Up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. For those of you all who have been with us for a bit this beautiful Monday morning, for those of you all who are just joining us, welcome to the Good Morning Show on WBOK 1230 AM. I am Will Sutton, and with me is Minister Darrell G. Brown.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Great to be here.
Great to have you here. Your good company and good conversation. That was quite a conversation with Ms. Stipe about the tobacco. You know, I had heard about the pouches. I didn't realize they kind of look and feel like candy.
Very creative.
It is creative.
Very creative marketing.
Creative and dangerous.
And dangerous. That's right.
Yeah.
That's
right.
You
know, I realize that adults can make their own decisions, but when we essentially encourage kids to take up bad habits that are going to give them shorter lives,
that's right.
It's just not a good idea. And they keep coming up with new ways. So now we got vaping and now we got pouches.
That's right. And Will, I'm looking at the health risks of vaping. It harms brain development until about the age of 25. It affects attention, learning, mood, and impulse control. It's linked to depression, anxiety, and stress, and it contains harmful substances as well. So
yeah, it's bad stuff, and I know that people get comfort from smoking or using tobacco products, but the science says that it's not as comfortable as you might want to make it out to be. I mean, it's harming you, and in a number of cases, it's harming other people with the secondhand smokes. You made a point about that.
Yes.
It's like, it's not just you. No, it's not just your choice, which is why we have the public policies that we do about no smoking areas and so forth, because it's not just an individual choice. It has an impact on the rest of us as well. All right, it's time to go to break, and when we come back, we're going to have more of the news and information that you want to know, should know, might want to know. We'll tell you about some local news, but we'll also get into the propositions and the charter amendments that were voted on this weekend. So we'll have that and more. I'm Will Sutton. This is WBOK, and this is Daryl G. Brown with me this morning. WBOK, 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. An Army gynecologist at Fort Hood in Texas is accused of secretly recording women during exams. In an exclusive interview with NBC, the Jane Doe has a message for Army leaders.
Shame on you for letting this happen. Shame on you for not taking action.
A lawsuit claims Dr. Blaine McGraw exploited patients. He's been suspended while the Army investigates. Chicago aldermen want more solutions for the city's billion-dollar deficit. They're urging Black Mayor Brandon Johnson to dig deeper into an EY consultant's report. Johnson says he's open to ideas but defends his corporate tax plan, calling on big companies to pay their fair share. And iHeartMedia and TikTok are teaming up for a first-of-its-kind partnership, launching TikTok Radio and a new podcast network with up to 25 creator-hosted shows. The deal also includes live events. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
This is Dr. Jaquil Ross, the host for Talk That, NOLA Education, brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans. On Talk That, we'll be focusing on the amazing work of educators and students happening inside and around public schools in New Orleans. Our school communities are full of so much talent and promise, so let's talk about it. This month, we'll be joined by Jamar McNeely, Jarrell Bryant, and Dana Peterson for a discussion focused on the importance of Black men in education. Also, we will hear from Kathleen Harris, Dr. Sheila Guidry, and Dr. Kelly Jordan to talk about how NSNO and NOLA Public Schools are supporting a growing English language learner population in our schools. Following that, we will have a conversation with a few representatives from NOLA Public Schools to talk about the upcoming enrollment window for school year 26-27 using the New Orleans Common Application process. So tune in to Talk That, NOLA Education every Monday at 12:30 p.m. on 12:30 a.m. To learn more about NSNO and our programs, visit newschoolsforneworleans.org.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show right here at WBOK, 12:30 a.m. I am Will Sutton, and with me is Minister Daryl G. Brown, and happy to have you with me, my brother.
And thank you, brothers. It's good to be here as well. That was a great first hour.
Yeah, yep. And we got another good hour here. And, you all are listening to our voices, whether it is on AM radio at 12:30, on the internet from wherever you are in the state or the world, and otherwise on Facebook, because we're on Facebook Live with these cameras in here. You can listen and watch, but please don't watch while you're driving. just turn on the sound, or have it on internet, and you can stream and you can listen to us, but watch the road and watch the kiddos, because it's 8:05 a.m. It's a beautiful day outside, but the kids are on their way to school, and school zone speeds are in effect until 9 a.m. So, another thing that happened, in addition to deciding some of the leadership of the city, is that voters decided on 3 propositions and 2 charter amendments. And the one proposition, Proposition 2, included the most money that was being sought after, and the total of the three propositions was $510 million being sought in capital bonds. So when we have propositions, first of all, leaders can't just say we want to go and get this money. The voters have to approve it. So you get to say yay or nay. And when you give them approval for a bond, it doesn't mean they have to use it. It's kind of like getting a pre-approved home mortgage. All right. So the financier or the bank says you're good for $500,000. Now, should you go and buy a $500,000 house? Probably not. That means they would like to do that deal with you and get more of your money, but maybe it might be better for you to get a $350,000 house or a $250,000 house and then have some money to put some furniture in the house, as opposed to saying this is my approval, so that's what I'm going to go and look for. So this way we have approved them at these higher amounts, and they can decide when to go into the market and seek these bonds, knowing that you have granted your approval. So that one bond, the biggest one, was for $415 million, and that was Proposition 2. And that's for the infrastructure across the city. And voters decided yes, that we definitely want to invest in our city. We want to see improved infrastructure in our city. And we're willing to say yes to your leading us along the way. And as you see the need, pursue those bonds. And those bonds would be repaid over 30 years. The next largest one was for $50 million. That was Proposition 3. And that was for drainage and stormwater management. I don't know a single person in New Orleans who doesn't think we need some improvements in drainage and stormwater management. Question always is, are you willing to pay for it? How much you want to pay for it? Where do you want to see that impact? And so this was for $50 million, also for over 30 years. And the voters said yes. So let's go for that. And so now they have approval to seek bonds for specific projects. Now, the one that got some more attention was Proposition 1, which was the affordable housing proposition. There was some opposition to that one, with some housing advocates saying, we just approved the Housing Trust Fund. We want 2% of the general fund, as the voters said that they want, with that approval of the Housing Trust Fund. And part of the argument in favor of the proposition was that we have some other issues. This is a definitive way to fund some of our housing needs, and we're not getting rid of the Housing Trust Fund. So now that voters had said, yes, we approve your going after the $45 million for this housing effort, now we'll get into a conversation about, okay, when and how that will be pursued, and what about the Housing Trust Fund? How is that going to operate? Because it's new. It's brand new. We just approved this last year. So we're still putting things in place to move things forward for making sure that we have more housing, more affordable housing in the city of New Orleans. We have too many people who are actually working in New Orleans but can't live here because they can't afford it. And we have other people who want to move here. they look at the prices and the cost, and they decide maybe we can't. So we lost quite a bit of population over the last 20 years. We need some of that population back. But so we'll see how that moves along as we move forward with our new set of leaders. But those are some of the results from Saturday as well. We're going to have to take a break, Daryl. And then when we come back, we can talk some more about some of this and maybe take some calls if anybody's got comments about the election. The talk line is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. I'm Will Sutton. This is Daryl Brown. And this is WBOK, 1230 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Good morning and happy Monday. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News, and here's a look at today's headlines. The New Orleans City Council is now officially set following Saturday's election. Amy McCarron claimed victory for District A, while Jason Hughes won the District E seat. And in the race for Clerk of Criminal Court in New Orleans, Calvin Duncan beat incumbent Darren Lombard. Then the 3 ballot measures that would fund affordable housing initiatives, infrastructure projects, and drainage all passed. You can go to WDSU.com for a full recap of election results. Then the Archdiocese of New Orleans bankruptcy case will be back in court today. This is the start of a multi-day hearing which should determine the outcome of a years-long legal battle with survivors of clergy sex abuse. Remember, more than 150 parishes and charities have filed for bankruptcy as part of the larger case. Testimony is expected to stretch into December. And good news if you have to catch a flight this morning. The Federal Aviation Administration is lifting its emergency flight reduction order today. That means airlines can return to normal operations. Those reductions began on November 7th, impacting flights at 40 major airports. The move was meant to ease staffing shortages of air traffic controllers during the government shutdown. And that is a look at today's headlines. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News. Have a great day.
Hi, I'm Leo Jackson, host of Sunday Gospel here every Sunday morning, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 12 o'clock till 2 p.m. You don't want to miss this move of God. It happens only on WBOK. You listen to all day long.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show right here on WBOK, 1230 a.m. I am Will Sutton, and with me is Minister Daryl G. Brown. And we've been talking about a number of things, including the election results, and we had a good conversation about tobacco and the impact on us all, but particularly on our kids. that
Yes.
pouch and vaping stuff
That's
is
right.
really, really, really bad. And you know, I hope a lot of people are listening because this is nothing to play with. So I do want to update you on some of the news, other news that's happened, so that you're aware of that. Sunday afternoon in the Tulane Graveyard neighborhood, there were 2 men shot and killed. And that was reported about 3:30 p.m. in the 100 block of North Johnson Street. 2 men had suffered from gunshot wounds. The initial report was that one had gone to a hospital, but that night both were declared dead on the scene. So we'll look for more developments on that. There were some drugs found at the scene, so it might be a drug deal that went bad, and unfortunately, a couple of lives lost. But we don't know for sure. Most unfortunately, over in Ponchatoula in Tangipahoa, there was a 28-year-old motorcyclist killed in a 3-vehicle crash. So 3 vehicles collided on Louisiana Highway 22, and Caleb Milton, 28, lost his life. That was also in the afternoon, about 3 p.m., and he was on a 2015 Harley Davidson motorcycle eastbound on Highway 22 when somebody driving west in a 2020 Jeep Wrangler tried to turn into a private driveway.
Wow.
Yes. So the Jeep's driver made a left, turning directly into the pathway of the motorcycle. The motorcycle hit the right side of the Jeep, crossed the center lane of the highway, and crashed head-on with a Nissan Murano traveling west behind the Jeep.
Wow. Very tragic.
Very tragic. The guy was wearing a helmet, but sustained severe injuries, and was taken to the hospital and died. The driver of the Nissan got minor injuries, and the driver of the Jeep, who it seems caused this, was not injured. And both of those drivers were wearing seatbelts. Really unfortunate.
Yes.
You know, if you're doing what you're supposed to do as a driver, whether on a motorcycle, car, truck, SUV, or whatever, and somebody makes an unfortunate driving decision and causes a life to be lost. We also had over in Gretna, Gretna police were investigating a shooting that left a 48-year-old man dead. This happened on Sunday morning, about 6:30 a.m. at the Creekside Apartments in 1400 block of Virgil Street, and they found the man laying in the street, face up, multiple gunshot wounds, and no one's been arrested, so they're investigating, and the Gretna police want help. That number is 504-366-4374, 504-366-4374. So that's just some of the news, unfortunate news, but things that you might want to know, and we'll look for developments on those things. It is 8:20 a.m., and this is WBOK 12:30 a.m. I'm Will Sutton, and with me is Daryl G. Brown. We were talking about the propositions, and, you know, one of the things that we did leading into the election was talk about voting and registration darn near every day. We talked about the candidates, we talked about the issues, and we gave you information about propositions as well. One of the people that we talked to was from City Hall, because we wanted to make sure that we understood what was at stake with the propositions, and we had Kyle from City Hall come in and talk to us about the propositions. So let's go back and hear some of what he said about that proposition number 2, which is the largest chunk of the money of the $510 million bond issues that we voted on Saturday.
So number 2 for infrastructure.
Yep.
I mean, the majority of the money is being spent on streets, roads, and bridges. So we won't be able to make the repairs to major streets, make repairs to neighborhood minor streets, do additional bridge replacements for failing old bridges. In addition to that, we'll be working on public facilities, developing new parks and amenities at different recreational sites. In addition, heavy equipment. So there's purchases for fire engine trucks and equipment for sanitation like dump trucks and street sweepers. And so, and in addition to that, there is funding for economic development projects. And so some things that have been a blight to the city for, many since Katrina, we won't be able to see potential impacts in those areas as well. Affordable housing, if that's not approved, then the entire 2% for the Housing Trust Fund would need to come from the general fund then. So the budget, during these budget negotiations between the administration and council, they'll need to find, I think it was 14.5 million, would then need to entirely come from the general fund rather than using a portion of the bonds to basically fund the Housing Trust Fund.
Okay, so not one of the most high-profile public servants that we might recognize, like the mayor or city council members or department heads, but we very much appreciate Kyle Holman coming on to WBOK. He's the capital budget director and project of the project delivery unit. So he is the guy that deals with the specifics of these projects. He and a team in City Hall, so I thought it was really important to have him come on and talk about that. So in advance of the election, the question, for those of you who didn't hear before, what happens if we don't get these approvals? So that was the context of him saying, if we don't, or if this doesn't happen, that was the context of his type of response. But these projects were approved, and so this is a part of what he and others have worked on. And if you want to see infrastructure projects, you can go online to cbno.org/bonds/projects #infrastructure. So the easiest thing is to go to cbno.org/bonds, and you can probably get there from there, get where you're going from there. But you want to go to a page that is black, yellow, and white, and there are two big buttons in the middle at the top of the page: infrastructure projects and drainage projects. And that's where you can tap in and look for the specific projects that this money is taken care of. And you can even go down the list and look for city council districts and see if it is citywide or city council district B or B and C or D or A, and see where those infrastructure issues. Now, when it says infrastructure, it is not always doing the actual work, because you don't want people to get out there and start doing work without some kind of plan and knowing exactly what's needed. So there are feasibility studies as a part of this money as well. So there's a feasibility study, for example, for West End Park to include new benches, landscaping, wayfinding signage, lagoon improvements, hardscaping, landscaping, lagoon adds, lagoon underwater improvements. And that's not the work. It's a feasibility study to look at the need for the work and to see what would be needed. And that's for the municipal yacht harbor. So it's ours, even though not all of us use it, it's ours. And I'm using that as an example because you might look out your house down the street. You know, what about this street? What about that street? What about this park? Well, there are a number of places, but a number of these things need feasibility studies. They need renovation versus repair versus building something new. And you can find out all of that. It's online if you're interested.
I would like to hear from the callers to find out what do they want to see done in their neighborhoods. For one, I want to see more lights. New Orleans East is just too dark at night. Driving on the interstate is just too dark. And even some areas. Matter of fact, my wife and I were driving on Bullard Avenue last night between Lake Forest and the service road. And we noticed how many of those businesses are in the dark, the parking lots and so forth. Mm-hmm. And I would like to see those areas improved. I would like to see more blighted properties either torn down or refurbished to be used for housing or something. I would like to see, well, matter of fact, I think did that last report with the apartment complexes in New Orleans East, I think 3 or 4 of them are only about 20% occupied. Mm-hmm. So there's housing available. Mm-hmm. But we need management. We need the homes, the apartments and complexes refurbished. And I would like to see more playgrounds inside of those apartment complexes, because kids may be stuck in those places with nowhere to run, nowhere to go. Swimming, some of the pools are unswimmable, matter of fact. But I'd like to see more playgrounds inside some of these complexes as well. So that's how I feel about that. And I'd like to know how others feel too.
Yeah. Well, you have an opportunity to call us and share your thoughts with us right here at WBOK, 12:30 a.m. on the Good Morning Show. The talk line is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. Again, we had a big election on Saturday. The voters chose Calvin Duncan over Darren Lombard for clerk, chose Amy McCarron over Holly Freeman for the City Council District A seat, and chose State Representative Jason Hughes over former City Councilwoman for the District E seat, Cindy Nguyen. So those were the people candidates and the winners, and congratulations to each of them. But we had these important bond issues as well. We also had a couple of charter amendments, so we'll talk about that in a bit as well. Right now, we better go to break, huh? I went over. So I got too excited about the nitty-gritty of some of that. We're going to go to break right now. WBOK 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Today is a WDSU first warning of weather impact day due to dense fog. Visibility could be reduced to less than a mile in some spots. After the fog clears, expect highs from 77 to 81 with partly cloudy skies. Lows tonight in the 50s and 60s with another round of fog possible. More low 80s for highs all week long. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
This is The Law and Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton.
If you had $1 million, would you leave it to an 18-year-old?
Hopefully not, but that's exactly what can happen with a simple will. The money goes straight to your kids when they hit the legal age, no guardrails.
A trust lets you control when and how they receive their inheritance. You can set ages, milestones, or even make sure they finish school first.
Give them security, not a spending spree.
This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
Transform your bathroom with the beautiful quality of Bath Planet. As a trusted leader in bathroom renovation, Bath Planet has earned the Good Housekeeping Seal, a symbol of quality and consumer confidence for over 100 years. Get half off installation or 18 months with no interest and no payments. Whether it's tub replacement, a shower replacement, or a tub-to-shower conversion, Bath Planet makes your custom bath fast, easy, and affordable. Here's how it works. 1. Call to schedule your free, no-obligation consultation. 2. Our design experts come to you with real samples to customize your dream bath. 3. Our certified installers complete the transformation in as little as 1 day. And right now, for a limited time, you can upgrade your bathroom for 50% off installation or choose 18 months with no interest and no payments. But you need to call now. This special offer is only available by calling 800-981-8177. That's 800-981-8177. Call 800-981-8177 right now before the offer ends.
A message from the community scientist. Do you live or work in St. James, St. John, St. Charles, Ascension, Calcasieu, Baton Rouge, or St. Bernard Parish? You may be exposed to harmful chemicals like phthalates, BPA, and flame retardants found in everyday products but linked to serious health risks. That's why the Community Scientist, a program of Rise St. James, brings you clear, science-based facts that protect your health and our environment. Stay informed, stay empowered. Visit risestjames.org today.
You've got responsibilities, but that doesn't mean your dreams are on hold. At Southern University at New Orleans, our evening and weekend college is designed with your life in mind. Finish your degree, start a new one, on your time, your degree, your schedule. No excuses, just opportunity. Visit suno.edu and make your next move today.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show right here on WBOK, 1230 a.m. We appreciate those of you all who are listening on AM radio at 1230 a.m. Those of you all who are listening on the internet live stream through the station's website or otherwise. And, of course, you can tune in via YouTube for those of you all who like to be on YouTube. And, of course, we always appreciate our Facebook listeners and watchers, those of you all who like to take a look as you listen. I'm Will Sutton, and with me is Darryl Brown. We're very happy to be here with you today. And we are talking about the election and the winners. But, you know, there were a couple of winners other than the people, and we talked about the charter amendments. The propositions. All three of those were approved. And we had two charter amendments as well. and both of those were approved. So the one charter amendment gives the City Planning Commission and the City Council more time to invest in developing the city's master plan. And so there were people who thought, well, the time is what it is, and you should do the work as it's been done. But there are a number of folks, particularly working with the Planning Commission, who felt like they needed more time and not to be limited so they can do a better job with it. Not something that was, greatly controversial, but there were some people who were concerned about, well, what does this mean? So I'm going to vote no, I'm not going to vote. So
I voted no, and but the 20% voted yes. And I'll say this again. He and I talked during the break. 80% of the voters, of the people in New Orleans, registered voters, did not vote, did not exercise their right to vote. And moving forward, I hope we get a higher number. Even in District A, 26%
yes.
of the people voted in District A for Annie McCarron. But something has to be done to get the people's ears, their attention, their interest, to get more people out to vote.
Yeah, well, don't know what that's going to take. We had greater interest, of course, in the October election with a mayoral race, a sheriff's race, clerk race, assessor race, city council at large races, city council district races. And there was a lot going on, more to look at, more to consider. But some of these things are so important, especially when you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. Hundreds of millions of dollars.
That's right.
And talking about things like infrastructure, housing, and drainage. There's not a week that goes by that people don't complain about some of these things. Well, here's your opportunity to vote on it.
That's right.
And 80% of the registered voters said, I don't have the time. I don't care. Do what you want to do. Not good.
Wow.
Not good. Not good. Right. But for those who did take the opportunity, then we thank you for your participation. The other charter amendment had to do with the city attorney. And the truth is the city charter already has the role of city attorney identified, and it's clear what the city attorney is responsible for. The mayor appoints an experienced practicing attorney, and until last year, that was it. But then last year, the city council approved and voters said okay to a measure that changed the charter to say that there are a number of city department heads that the city council has to confirm. So the mayor can appoint, select, choose who he or she wants, and then city council has to agree. Otherwise, the person is not confirmed and doesn't get the job. The city attorney heads the law department. And the mayor has had broad supervision over not just the city attorney, but other department heads to hire and fire or move those people. With the city council's actions and the voters' approval, city council has to confirm these folks and not just the city attorney, but that includes the city attorney. So in this strong mayor government, the city attorney and the law department primarily support the executive branch, but they're also responsible to the city council and for the responsibility of daily operations of city government. And under the charter as it's been written, the city attorney advises the mayor and the city council, even though the mayor hires that person. So the big change that you all approved on Saturday is you now have a situation with this charter change approval that the mayor, the elected mayor, in this case, Helena Moreno, come January 12th, she will be the mayor, and she can hire a city attorney. The city council will have to confirm that city attorney. If somewhere along the lines, Mayor Moreno decides, I don't want that city attorney, and decides, I want to relieve you of your duties, the city council can watch and say, okay, or the city council with a 3/4 vote can say, no, you're not. No, you're not going to fire this person, and you will continue to work with the person that you hired. That seems strange to me. But that's what a number of you all decided to do. So that change is in the works. And right now we've got a caller. Good morning, Aaron. You're on with Will Sutton and Darryl Brown.
Good morning. How y'all brothers doing this morning?
Fabulous. How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah, you're right. I'm good. First off, shouts out to the Fatherhood Roundtable.
Absolutely.
The Houston Newton Gun Club. Let me say this as it relates to the question about the voting aspect. We have to get in front of the wheel instead of just constantly, reaping the benefits of the precautionaries or the headaches after. Let's go back to the governor's race, right? The election, and I'm just paraphrasing because I know I gotta go fast. The governor's race, right? The election was Saturday, and we put Sean Wilson in the race on a Monday, expecting that he was going to actually win when the election was Saturday, right? We don't prepare for hurricane season during hurricane season. We prepare for hurricane season before hurricane season. Too many times when it comes to elections, one side of it, right? We always wait till it's election season to want to come into the community and educate the community on this, that, and the third. No, we got to start getting proactive instead of constantly being reactionary. You dig? Too many times, and it shows election after election after election, whether it be the 4 years election or the 2 years election, right? The people comes into the community and they constantly use the same old thing. People die for your right to vote. That's not all they die for. They also die so that way we can be educated on why we voting and who we are voting for. Because if you look at our city, a lot of times we only vote, or we have only been taught to vote for the person that got the best commercial or the best looking picture in the paper, And then on the other side of that coin too, we have just been taught just to go down there and just push the button for our respective candidates, while the other side is paying for their candidates to be in that seat, So that's what I mean about we need to be more educated in our community. Our community needs to be more educated when it comes to voting, because if not, we're going to continue on going down the same old road and wondering why, we getting the turnout that we are getting. And then on the other side of that too, when some of our respective candidates does get in office, right? When you step outside your door in your community and look at your community, right? Especially in our community, it still look like Hurricane Katrina hit yesterday. And some of the people that keep on saying that they are grassroots candidates, right? They turn into the very thing that we fight against. So all those things we not actually having a conversation about, but we wondering why we keep on getting the same overall answers that we constantly getting. And one more thing I'm gonna say, I'm gonna get up out of here. If the community can't trust you with 30% of the vote, how do you expect for the community to trust you with 80, 60, 70, 80, 90, 10, 100% of the vote? So that's all I'm saying. We got to do a better job with educating our people. I know a lot of people talk about ADHD, but our community is suffering from having been taught syndrome. You know what I'm saying? HBT or HBE, haven't been educated. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing, man. We'll see y'all at the Fatherhood Roundtable.
All right.
Thank you.
Always good to hear from you, Aaron. Have a blessed day. All right. Well, Aaron made some good points, of course, and there has to be reasons for people to be energized to vote. I think there are a number of good reasons. I guess part of it is communication and motivation. It's not just candidates, but in the case of propositions and amendments, and those things can't talk. They can't answer questions. And in the days leading into the election, I saw a number of signs and social media posts about the propositions and the charter amendments, and I think it worked. They were approved. Right now, we've got a caller, and this is a very special caller. Good morning, Councilwoman-elect Amy McCarron.
Good morning, Will.
Good
How's
morning.
it going?
You're on with Will Sutton and Darryl Brown. Congratulations.
Hey, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So,
I'm so excited.
how does it feel to know that you'll be stepping into the office where you used to work, but stepping into a different seat, a different desk, a different role?
It feels wonderful. I mean, I'm really, really excited. I worked really hard, and now, you know, I'm excited and honored to represent the people of District A. I really am.
So you came in second in the October election. There were multiple candidates, so nobody got that 50+1. What do you attribute the difference to coming in second, but making a runoff, and not just coming in first, but coming in first in a big way?
So I think a lot of it is my message about the budget and that experience. I kept a very, very positive campaign. And look, we hit the ground running the very next day. I spent, you know, a couple hours on that Sunday kind of being with my family, and then we got to work on what our plan was to hit the ground running. So we knocked almost every single door in every precinct. We had phone bankers every single night. We really just pushed our message hard. And I think I captured a lot of, the third place, Bob Morell's votes. I think I captured a lot of those votes, which are a lot more like progressive and Democrat votes, who my message really resonated with them as well. So we just pushed it hard. We stepped on the gas and we didn't stop. I mean, even on election day, I was back and forth in my headquarters, and I was making phone calls myself to get our favorables out and make sure they got out and voted. So we just really pushed it hard. And I think my message of the budget and, you know, making sure that our basic services weren't going away with this really, really resonated with people.
Well, it's your campaign, and it's resulted in a win. From my perspective as an observer, there was a big change from your campaign going into the October election versus in the runoff. I think you did more to make distinctions and show differences between you and your former colleague, your competitor for the office. I think you refined the budget message in the runoff, and I think you got more help in the runoff, particularly, and not to say all those people I saw working for you weren't important, but to have the help and support of Bob Morell, I think was important, and City Council President J.P. Morell. I mean, this was, and in that case, it wasn't just an endorsement. It was like the man's out there like waving signs and at your phone bank. It's like he didn't have to do that.
No, he didn't. But, you know, we built that relationship over time working together on the budget stuff. And we just really clicked. And he, like you said, I mean, I have that knowledge of the budget, and we just became friends and colleagues. So, you know, that significantly helped as well. And I appreciated his support so much. And I'm excited to work with him. So, yeah, I mean, that was a really big change. We really defined our message. We stuck with it. We stuck with a plan. We didn't make any mistakes, and that's how we did it.
Amy, this is Minister Darryl G. Brown. I want to say congratulations again to you. And I think one thing that was very impressive was your background. a decade as a financial advisor, 3 years as a policy and budget director for Jerusalem. Very impressive. And you ran on your record. And I think some candidates who lost, incumbent candidates who lost this recent election, they did not have a record or experience but they had experience. They did not have a record to run on or to campaign on. And you did that, and you did that well, and it's obvious, and the people spoke with their voices.
Thank you.
Now, I want to ask
Thank you. I appreciate it.
My question for you is, what's going to be different now with your experience as a policy and budget director and as a financial advisor? What would your role? What would not only your role but the city council's role be to make sure that this type of budget deficit just does not pop up all of a sudden? I mean, was the council also responsible to make sure that the budget was in place? Or I guess my question is, how did it happen that at the last moment, this big surprise comes up? Hey, we're $160 million short. I mean, could they not see that over the years? I mean, over the months? And then to get to the point where now we are not sure if we have the money available to make payroll. So I'd like to know your thoughts on that and what can be done to make sure that these surprise deficits don't happen again.
Yeah, so I've kind of been briefed a little bit from Joe Giarrusso on their conversations, while I wasn't in his office, and it just seems like there is a significant lack of transparency. I mean, at some level, the council has to trust the information coming from any administration. We it's not our role to be in the every single day looking at how they're spending things. But obviously now we need to have a bigger role in that transparency. But it just seems like, we were getting information that wasn't completely accurate. And then there was a different thing from the CAO's office and a different thing from Department of Finance and a different thing coming out of the mayor's office. And that goes down to that deeper question of how lack of transparency and coordination and communication really played a huge part in this issue. And then, some other things that I've been briefed about are just in general, different departments not knowing, department heads not realizing how to plan for overtime and making these estimates. I mean, NOPD, it's like they know consistently that every year they're going to have Mardi Gras, they're going to have all of these other events. So they know I'm going to need overtime for these officers at this time. And then, whatever that percentage needs to be to plan for events like, the snowstorm and things that we didn't know that were going to be planned. But it just seems to be a lack of policies within each department and a lack of that, everybody having one plan on how to plan for these things. So, a couple of things that I think this next council will do is, and something that I will be pushing for on day one is, the council does not have any role in planning the budget until we are given the budget on October 1st from the administration. And I think that is a huge, huge problem because, first of all, number one, you don't have the community input because we as the council members, we are the people that are on the ground in the neighborhoods, especially the district council members. So that should be part of our guiding light on what the community wants for their budget and their districts. So there needs to be a lot more planning up front between the council and the administration on this budget rather than us being presented and then we go on the back end and try and fix things. So that's something that I think we can easily work out with the new administration on figuring out how we are more engaged in that process. And the same thing goes for stuff like road work and capital projects. The council needs a bigger position in how we work on those road work things because right now we don't really get to decide on, how we fix our streets and what level of coordination. So I think there really needs to be a lot more accountability and transparency on the front end of the budget process to avoid this And then, of course, going forward, we need to have better reporting. We need to have budget to actuals every month. We need to have, more back end information, access to the financial records that they have. So whatever programming they're using, the council should have access to that so we can check the numbers ourselves too.
Thank you very much for that. I am curious. I check my bank statement often, weekly. Do you guys get a city budget bank statement to see how you're doing?
No, we don't. We just get a monthly report, and it shows a balance, and it's not like a bank, it's not like a bank statement. It's just a fund report. And oftentimes, this past year, I noticed that, we were running 2 months behind on information. So we weren't even getting correct, accurate where we are today. In fact, I think if you go back and look at the last budget committee meeting and you look at the reports from finance, I think they're still July or August reports. And here we are in November. So, that kind of reporting needs to be real time, or at least,
that's right,
forward looking, and then last month, what happened.
I know we only have a couple more minutes with you, and we only have a few more minutes before we have to get out of the way for the front porch. But now that you have been successful and you are the city council representative elect for District A, you don't take office until January 12th. What are your plans for between now and January 12th? How do you plan to spend your time? Are you going to get any family time in? Are you going to take a break? Are you going to, look at the reports? How soon do you expect to? Who's going to be the next Amy in the office?
I know. So this afternoon, I'm taking a little bit of time for myself. This morning, I have to go. I'm having a meeting this morning. But look, I already talked to Joe this morning and yesterday, and I was like, all right, I'm on the calendar for tomorrow. I have a couple meetings at City Hall then. I'm going to attend the special council meeting on Wednesday. And then I'm going to start figuring out what committees I would like to chair and what that looks like, so that way I can start planning my staff. So I'm going to have a little bit of break time in between, but really, I told Joe, I was like, I need all the transition stuff I need. And he's like, you tell me what you need, you come over here and get what you need to get done. So, no, the work for me is starting now. So that way on January 12th, I can hit the ground running, and we're ready to go for the people. And so the other thing is, I know during the whole campaign, I talked about how I was going to have those weekly council offices or pop-ups in the neighborhoods, and I'm going to get that started in a couple of weeks too, so that way I can start attending the neighborhood meetings so people get to know me and really start understanding and getting to know the people of District A that I haven't met yet. So
wonderful. All right. Well, thank you for spending some of your time with us this morning. And again, congratulations on your win and your big win.
Yes.
Thank y'all so much. I'm happy to come on anytime. All right, y'all?
All right. Very good. All right. Have a blessed day.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Well, quite a show today. And really appreciate Minister Darrell G. Brown joining me this morning. Hope you had a good time.
I sure did, sir. Thank you very much for inviting me. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
All right. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, we had a good show today. We thank Aaron for calling in, as always, has some good knowledge to share and some good context, things for us to think about. We thank Chriselle Stipe from the Louisiana Campaign for Tobacco-Free Living. Of course, they have their 3 events coming up on November 20th. That's at Bayou Region Vaping Town Hall in Houma at 11, Nichols State University in Thibodaux at 11:30, and St. Landry Parish, the one that I like, smoked meat, not tobacco, at 10:30 a.m. That's going to do it for us here today. Lord willing, I'll be back tomorrow morning. This is the space that will now be occupied by the front porch. You're listening to WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.